Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Welcome to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. Seeking the truth, exposing the lies. Remember, together, we are unstoppable. Keep on digging.
All right, anybody want to hit that quick? I do want to get D-Lo some.
In Canada, we have something called Canadian Pension Plan, but the boomers, because the boomers there's so many of them that there won't be any money left for once they've used it. So it's our whatever you call social, whatever you guys have down there. Up here, there won't be any money left anyway for individuals. So yeah,
I was going to say, as a program, it's another example of how what something that is socialism has really reduced poverty. You don't have the little old ladies, who can't afford bread. Like, they have at least something on Social Security. So, again, it shows that social programs can indeed reduce poverty, and Social Security has been a huge poverty reducer amongst our elderly citizens.
And I will piggybacking what Bjorn just said. It's in Mahus's job, I worked with women who they work for the state or the city or whatever for 20 plus years, and they know what they're going to get from Social Security, what they're going to get from retirement, and they now can have a profitable life, not working. Maybe they can go on the side and do something for a couple of days, just be have some fun. But no, they can truly, because of Social Security and their retirement, they can enjoy their late 60s going into their 70s. And the saddest thing to me always to see is when I see an 80-year-old trying to do a job with someone who's 20 could do it much better. But that generation has a much respect on what happens to work itself. That's all. So
what about people that are renting? That's a whole different ballgame, right?
Well, housing should be human right.
Unless we do something about government housing, all these people that are renting and get older, their Social Security is not going to cover their rent. My Social Security right now would be $700 a month. My rent's $1,100.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is the fact that we are in a situation to where there are citizens that like I said before, I've seen the ones I've known has worked within the system themselves get their Social Security, but also get their retirement, also get live a life that's not going to be drinking beans all day. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is we won't get to that point in the States. Our generation is not going to get that not going to have that privy. Our generation will not have that privy in any shape or form.
Yeah, but hopefully the robots solve that. So then, no need for
the robots.
The robots. But yeah, no.
Hogan?
Yep, we're gonna keep moving.
See where Leonard the guy is coming from when it comes to greed and corruption are pretty much part of the same coin. So I don't think we would have corruption in our society if we were to eliminate greed. If we were to eliminate that culture that breeds greed, society needs to stop. We need to stop trying to one up each other. We need to stop trying to feel jealous. We need to start feeling. Try to understand we're all in the same boat. We all gotta support each other, and our institutions need to realize that too. But institutions built on a capitalist society will always be profit motivated, and I think we can change the people running the institutions, because institutions are run by people. They're not just robots, really. They're people too, and they have to understand the significant role they play in maintaining society and helping those in society who need the most help.
Can I jump in on Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to
that was brilliant.
yeah.
That was brilliant.
I just thought yeah, I think Emmanuel's right. That there is a culture of greed that exists here in our society, of course, and we definitely celebrate it more than anywhere any other capitalist country in the world. We celebrate it here the most. Like we have probably like someone has said earlier that we measure corruption in terms of like certain laws and regulations that are broken, right? But like honestly, I would argue that corruption itself is an opportunism, right? Opportunism and corruption are essentially the same thing. There are like Marxist academics who would argue that opportunism is like the actual like defining characteristic of capitalism, to take advantage of a bad situation or to take advantage of certain loopholes, right? Or to take advantage of not necessarily things that are legal, but I mean both, right? Like they'll take advantage of things that are legal loopholes and just outright illegal things. So when we look at when we sit there and say places like Venezuela are like cesspools of corruption, well actually especially in regards to the democracy, right? Like, well, the thing is that Venezuela has been monitored by international organizations as having one of the most legitimate democracies in the world, one of the most fair democracies in the world, and I think Jimmy Carter actually signed off on that as well. But the thing is that it's corruption when other people do something we don't want them to do, in terms of the holistic like state, right? But like it seems to just be a kind of a run of the mill daily thing when corporations pump money in to an Ohio race to subvert the most popular candidate, Nina Turner, and replace her with an establishment Democrat, right? Like it's just I see that as a kind of corruption, and maybe I'm being like we have different definitions here, but I do think like basically capitalism is very much dependent. It's like it has a sibling relationship with corruption.
It incentivizes it. I think it incentivizes greed.
Yeah, it's built on insecurity, right? Like insecurity in your sense of self, like greed, right? Greed is nothing more than trying to fill this hole that is
greed's inherent. I think greed's inherent.
Yes.
When you look at nature. So I mean, I think it's built. It's a system built to draw that animalistic nature out of us. So, but anyway, again, like we're kind of bumping up against time here, so I'm going to just keep running through these messages, and then we'll wrap up. So,
yeah, I understand like the inflation comment. Inflation is necessary when you have a society that needs to grow. The money supply also needs to grow when the society is getting larger and there's more goods and services being introduced into the economy. Because as more goods and services are introduced to the economy, either through new jobs, new businesses, and stuff like that, the money supply needs to grow to accommodate those additional goods and services. I'm not explaining things very well. It's really late where I'm at, and I'm really tired. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep.
Yes, he is.
I also don't have like a fully comprehensive framework of society or governments and economy. These are just stuff that I've thought about and observed.
Don't sell yourself short.
Amazing job. Yes.
Yes, he's been like phenomenal. And Mr. Hurst, Emmanuel, honestly, if everyone like want to sit on the table or just listen to us and like get there, baby, we will welcome you. Because like, yes, you gave your thoughts, and your thoughts is what you talked about, and that's you. So like that's all a part of what we do on the table itself. So yes, Emmanuel, don't show yourself short. Don't show yourself short.
Yeah, sorry guys, I did close the comments off because we do really have to wrap this up, or at least I really want to wrap this up because it's getting late where I am. So we're gonna run through these last messages with Deluxe. Again, thank you guys for listening in. This is the commentary table. Appreciate you guys. And I want to shout out the listeners who are still with us, and that is Gloria, Huntbird, Emmanuel Herschel, Aaron,
You
and
said the
Deluxe.
name. You said the name.
Yes, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah,
It's the name. It is. I am not saying anything I'm not calling anybody that. It is just what is read. So, I will anyway. Deluxe.
Yeah, it's something that someone will pay for, and then all of a sudden they consume everything else. And at the end of the day, it's what the profit that they're making. And then they will shut down any other company to make the profit that they continue to make. I mean, it is a fucked situation. And no one wants to talk about how fucked it is. We want to think about and talk about, and that's totally fine, but I mean, it dominates and controls, and then it has one market, and the only market that you could buy from is that major corporation. I was in a class around my 20s, and they said, the professor said, Social Security is not going to be something that's going to be plausible for you. I understand that it is helping people, elderly people at this time, and I work with elderly people at this time. When I'm older, I'm not going to have Social Security. And if you guys are anywhere around my age, Social Security is going to be gone. It was an infrastructure that's disappearing.
We're not. Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. Sorry to be depressing.
Tell me the truth.
If that's
you
not
got it,
what you
D-Love.
guys want to hear, but it's reality.
It's true.
I don't know about that. I think it's such. If you change nothing, then there's an argument for that. But we've shown time and time again, this is a super well liked popular program, and what will happen is we will adjust our laws so that fund will be funded. So I think that it will be continued on. Personally,
All right. So, like, honestly, like, Bjorn, you want to talk about an after show? Because I disagree with that, honestly. I think there's going to, like, a suspect, like, we go to the future to where FDR set up, like, will not be like looked at in the future. For us as a generation, I think the boomers are going to be the last ones to get that, and I don't think we are. So that's all I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying I'm necessarily relying on it, but you know how afraid seniors are whenever you say we're going to take Social Security away, and they're the people who vote. So there's a motivation by politicians to keep them unafraid. So if you say, Social Security's ending in 2 years, they will find a way to pay it out. And I just think that I just think that it will continue. Maybe it would change to a different form. Maybe we would go to more of a UBI system or something else. But it will never go away completely.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, I agree with Bjorn quickly. They could just reinvest where they're holding the current value of the Social Security, like put it in Tesla, and then they'll have plenty of money in the future. More, like if they reinvest. But yeah, I'll stop it. I know we gotta get through these comments.
Just give me my early bird special, and I won't say anything.
Put it all in Dogecoin.
Robots, please save me from it. Robots. Robots. Clean my car with robots. Just like Emmanuel said, unification once again. It's the people. We are the adults now. These assholes don't run the thing. We could run the gambit. But what do we do to run the gambit, right? How do we get involved? Right? Let's just talk, not just talk about it, let's actually do something. But they're scared of that. They're scared of us if we do that. But they want you to be in the same spot. They want you to be docile. They want you to be weak. They want you to be tired.
You do the same thing?
They don't want your voice to be heard. And conversations like this among minds can change the infrastructure. They could change things if we all unite and do something about it.
So I am actually someone who tries to do things about this. I'm not just someone who talks, right? I like to talk, but I've organized some of the.
Baby, we gotta wrap this up. So like,
well, let him finish. He just,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be real quick. I've organized some of the biggest protests and actions out here in Orlando in the past like decade. Not just me by myself, obviously, but I'm part of a.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm Orlando, Florida. Yep. I'm part of a collective called the Orlando Workers League, and I am also in a national party called the American Party of Labor. You can read our program and our platform on the AmericanPartyOfLabor.com. I'm sorry, AmericanPartyOfLabor.com.
Wow.
Yes, I'm a full-fledged like activist militant. Yes, I've been doing this for a very long time.
Ooh.
That's very cool. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for all the comments. This has been, I really enjoyed this conversation. This was much. This is probably one of my favorite conversations we've had, especially because of the topic and the knowledge up here from all three of you guys, from everybody here. I always appreciate you guys teaching me things that I just don't know. You know, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm an everyman type of guy. I'm just, I learn things from people who know more than I do. And anyway, so something that we do here is we have a Spotify playlist, and so we all love music, we all love podcasts. I think we all love all sorts of things. So we have a Spotify playlist, and I know Spotify is not everybody's favorite thing right now, but so we have.
They try to make it better. Like, Joe came out and said, like, I'm gonna change my.
Yeah, I hate Joe Rogan. I don't want to talk about him. He's gonna boil my blood. But anyway, I think so what we do is we kind of go around the table here and we talk about, we kind of share one or two artist podcasts that you've been listening to that have really moved you this week, and you guys, and it's a collaborative playlist, and I'll send you guys the link if you guys would like that. You can drop stuff on that you've been listening to, something that, whether it be a podcast, whether it be a song, whether it be an artist, you can drop it on that playlist and we'll give it a listen to. Love listening to new stuff. So anyway, that being said, I'm just going to go around here. Whoever's on my screen, we're going to go counterclockwise. Let's go with Dave. What have you been listening to, brother, lately?
The Jimmy Dore Show. I also wanted to give a shout out to, Jimmy Dore, real freedom fighter. You got to check him out if you haven't. Free on YouTube. I also wanted to give a shout out. I volunteer for the People's Party. I registered and volunteer with the People's Party. They don't take corporate money, and trying to end the two-party reign. People are afraid. People get bullied into voting for one of the two parties, but the biggest block of voters is non-voters, 100 million people.
Hey, Dave.
Very nice.
You've been, like, amazing on this night, dude. Seriously.
Thanks. Thank you, bro.
And Jimmy Dore is a comedian, right?
Yeah, he's a comedian, but he got real political in the last 5 years.
A political commentator, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I know you can do the voices and everything, but, like, you came at this a whole different way, dude. And I appreciate that. And, like, thank you. And everything. That's all.
All right.
I appreciate that, dude.
So the Jimmy Dore Show, you can find that on YouTube. And is that is that a Spotify thing too? Does he have like a podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. He's on Spotify.
All right, drop some of his. I'll look that up. But if you want to like a specific episode, drop that on the playlist. I'll send you that link through Instagram, and you can drop like something that you'd really like us, because I really love podcasts. I've been really on a podcast kick lately, so I would love to hear some of the episodes that you think are good, that you really enjoyed.
Yeah,
so.
Episode 270 is out of the ballpark.
Nice. I will check it out. Make sure to drop that. I'll send you that link too. Leonard, what about you, brother?
So music we're talking about. For me,
anything, music, podcast, whatever.
Okay, Thelonious Monk, specific song,
Nice.
straight on. Yeah, really good. And then BJ, BJ, the Chicago Kid. I'll put these both up on and then one of the other things I've been listening to is the Commentary Table playlist because it's fucking great.
I should probably just link that. I think I can link that now, can't I?
You can actually.
I'm gonna do that. Hold on, real quick, guys. Sorry, you guys can keep.
You can.
I'm gonna do that right now. I will link that right now in the comment in the top. I don't know if. Let me see if that works.
You know how to do it?
No. I think so. I just gotta wait till it.
So Sebastian, you got any music you're listening to?
Oh God, yes. I just discovered a group recently. Just kind of well, I'm not gonna explain the whole story, but a band out of the UK called the Sleaford Mods, and that's
them
SLEA.
Yeah. Go for it. Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, you're good. Yeah. The song I would recommend listening to is called BHS. It is kind of the voice of a generation when it comes to
Spell out again, please. I cut you off.
Yeah, Sleaford Mods. SLEAFORD space MODS. Sorry, and the song again is BHS. It's an amazing song. And it reeks of the absolute disparity of desperation of kind of the failures of capitalism. It is an amazing song. Yes, of course.
Why has 90s like the whole point of being in the 90s is sister pop sort of for now we are now in 2022, but the 90s has become something that's been sort of glorified behind. Can anyone just
right?
I enjoyed the 90s. I lived through it, you know what I mean? But I just don't understand yes, there was Kurt. Yes, there was all many things coming out of the 90s, but it's I don't understand why the 90s is this musical sort of aspect. I'm also fighting on my own self saying that because I do love everything that came out of the 90s itself, but I don't think the kids they don't understand Chris Cornell. They don't understand Cobain. They understand the trend of the 90s. They don't understand what the 90s truly were. And that's my bugaboo about it. And sorry, I went on sorry.
What?
I did that. Okay, so you're gonna ask me what music or what you're privy to me, what music or podcast I'm listening to. Jim Cornette. I love Jim Cornette. I don't know anyone who's on here is actually a wrestling fan, but I do enjoy someone in Louisville talking shit about a business he's not in. If I talk about music itself, I will say once again, Leonard said it. What we put together on Spotify, I play that shit legit, and it's hot. So yeah,
absolutely.
Bjorn.
I started listening to this podcast where I get a lot of my medical info from. It's called Joe Rogan. You can find it on Spotify.
Dr. Rogan. I think you meant to say
if you really want to know the truth, then you go there.
I fucking missed you, dude. That's so good.
And no, but I actually have not been listening to much music, but I have been nerding out. I've been watching the Book of Boba Fett. I've been watching The Expanse. And I've been
okay. The last episode, Bjorn. Last episode.
We can't have spoilers here.
No spoilers. Nope.
Yeah,
no
spoilers.
Here.
But I've also been reading a book by an author named Brent Weeks, who's a Pacific Northwesterner. who writes the book called like the Black Prism series, and he has a new book out called The Burning White. So if you want to have some interesting fantasy books, I would say check it out. He also has a really, really gripping, probably the best like assassin series I've ever heard of as well. So check out Brent Weeks if you want some dark fantasy.
All right.
Hogan, let's bring like, music, podcasts, literature into this talk also. Let's do that because like I read too. Not too often I should, but I read too. So thank you for bearing this. Like, let's bring that into the three of like, is this music, podcast, or literature?
Totally. I mean, like, yeah, it's like, I mean, this is whatever you want to recommend. I don't want to make it sound like it's just, but I mean, for the sake of promoting the playlist, you can't really promote like a book on the Spotify playlist. So
yeah. What about Hogan?
It's a little difficult.
Honestly, like Hogan, I played that shit in the last like 2 times, and like I did the whole like, no offense, everyone loved jazz. They wanted jazz, but there was like 20 minutes of like or 30 minutes of like fucking like bangers. They weren't mine. You know what I'm saying? I had my 2 or 3 in there, but like there was hip hop, there was I Know Yours, and I Know It Was
I got you.
And like everyone like popped for those shit. I was like, all right, we're doing something. We're doing something. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm popping for. You know what I mean? That's why because I always play NPR when I'm at work. At a certain time of the night, I switch off and so we're going to start closing. Play some music, and I do what we have all together, and people enjoyed it. The masses enjoyed it. Like
I'm glad they enjoyed it. Speaking of closing,
Yep.
Sorry.
What about your picks? Hogan, don't forget yourself. Like,
oh Lord. So I've been just listening to like a lot of stuff that I normally listen to, which would be Queens of the Stone Age, Radiohead, and which, by the way, Radiohead released Kid Amnesia, which is a pretty cool album. That was their most recent release. And then I've actually been like reading a lot and been listening to a lot of audiobooks. So I just started Plato's The Republic on audiobook because I don't think I have the determination and grit to like get through that monster. But I have been reading a book called by Nolan Gasser, who is a musicologist, and he was the designer. He was one of the lead developers on of the algorithm that they use for Pandora. And there's a book he wrote called "Why You Like It: The Science of Culture and Music," the science and culture of musical taste, and it kind of explains why it breaks things down into like why you like the things you like in terms of music. So, and they use this then to like how when you turn on your Pandora, it like finds similar artists and things that you like. That's how it recommends stuff to you. So if that's something that interests you guys, it's a really good book. I picked it up at the library, so I've been really digging in that. So check it out.
I love the fact you go to the library. I love the fact you go to the library, Hogan. Honestly, because I go to the library too.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. If you're digging what I'm doing, picking up what I'm throwing down, please do share with friends and on social media. Until next time, keep on digging for the truth.